Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. 60% of the first phase of Bulletin Expressway is completed and a length of 18 kilometers will be open to traffic in June. The number of Omani female workers rises to 43% in government sector and 20% in private sector. The Ministry of Education works to adopt students' projects and innovations in order to create a generation that enjoys high creative capabilities. And awareness activities to highlight consumer rights in the governorates of Musandam and South Sharqiya are held within celebrations of Gulf Consumer Protection Week. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, Emir of the State of Kuwait, in reply to His Majesty's cable of condolences on the death of Sheikh Badr Abdullah Al Muhammad Al Salman Al Sabah. The first phase of Al-Batna Expressway will be open to traffic in June from Halban area to the Walaya of Barqa at a length of 18 kilometers. That was announced by His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Futaisi, Minister of Transport and Communications, who inspected work progress and added that 60% was completed of the first phase of Al-Batna Expressway project, and work is in progress at all phases as it was planned. He also said the opening will reduce some heavy traffic which is on the current road. The Bulletin Expressway project, with its various phases, witnessed a rapid progress, and it is considered significant for the traffic movement in the governorates of North and South Bulletin, as well as the rest of the governorates in the Sultanate. The opening of the first phase of the project was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Futaisi, Minister of Transport and Communications. During the inspection of the work progress of the project, His Excellency met the contractor and stressed on the importance of exerting efforts to complete the project. 60% of the first phase of Bulletin Expressway was completed. The project also included conversion of some roundabouts and intersections in Bulletin to intersections with various levels. The project was also considered significant on the Sultanate's level because it will reduce the traffic movement on the current road in Bulletin. The Ministry of Education is working to adopt students' projects and innovations in order to create a generation that enjoys high creative capabilities. That came in a statement by His Excellency Saud bin Salem Al-Balushi, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Education for Educational Planning and Human Resources Development, to the Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television. He also said that the Ministry of Education is not working alone in this aspect, but it has partnership, namely the Research Council and other government, semi-government and private institutions. These partnerships are in the process of foundations and are being taken care of by high-level bodies and will result in finding to adopt creativity at the level of governorates and schools. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Department of Health Services in the Walaya of Sahar organises the first dentistry conference. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. His Excellency Fahd bin Hajar al-Mutairi, Ambassador of Kuwait, accredited to the Sultanate, in a statement to Oman Radio and Television, said that the Kuwaiti projects and investments in the Sultanate reached more than 24 projects. He added that all of the investments are in economic and related fields. Activities of Omani Kuwaiti Media Forum started in Muscat under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Abdul Munim bin Mansour Lahsani, Minister of Information. The forum witnessed a participation from a number of media men and political specialists. It also stressed on the balance and objectivity, as well as getting information from reliable media sources. The forum also focused on the Omani-Kuwaiti relations, in addition to the media role in opening dialogue sessions that serve the interest of both countries in economic, political, social and cultural fields. The National Centre for Statistics and Information indicates that Omani women working in the government sector reached 47% compared to 22% in the private sector. More details in the following report.
Remarkable potentials are available for Omani women towards more eligibility to activate her role in economic, social and political development. Statistics indicate that the total number of women reached more than 1.117 million, forming 49.4% population. The Governorate of Muscat obtained the highest percentage of Omani women by 20.5%, whereas the lowest percentage were in the Governorates of Al-Wusta and Musandam by 1%. 61% of Omani women are listed within the productive category at the age of 15 to 64 years old, whereas women's percentage since birth until 14 years old amount to around 35%, and the number of which whose age above 65 reaches more than 4%. The government sector accommodates the highest percentage of Omani women by 47% compared to men, whereas the private sector has the lowest existence of women with 20% only. Based on data of the agricultural enumeration, women constitute 29% of permanent workers. Statistics of the National Center for Statistics and Data highlighted the rise of resigned women from service by 40% until the mid of 2014. These numbers emphasize the presence of Omani women in an interactive way in the process of development, enjoying at the same time a high vocational safety and personal and living standard satisfaction with men, and that reflects the country's attention to Omani human being.
The Administration of Consumer Protection in the Governorate of South Sharqiya organised an awareness exhibition coinciding with the celebration of the International Day for Consumer Protection. The exhibition aims to spread awareness to the rights of the consumer and consumption culture, as well as to acquaint with the efforts exerted by the Administration of Consumer Protection, particularly in Jalan Bani Bu Ali in the Wilaya of Sur. The Department of Consumer Protection in the Wilaya of Daba in the Governorate of Musandam held various activities celebrating the Gulf Consumer Protection Week. The events targeted all members of the society and encouraged shopkeepers to follow the right and healthy methods in preserving foodstuff and other products. The activities included awareness campaigns, programs for schools, as well as distributing awareness pamphlets. On the occasion of Arab City Day, which falls on 15th of March, the Far municipality hosted a ceremony in the Wilaya of Taqa under the theme Towards Comprehensive and Sustainable Cities. This year's event concentrated on sustainability and gaining opportunities related to social equality and economic development growth for finding work opportunities. The event was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Saif al-Busaidi, Wali of Taqa. The Department of Health Services in the Wilaya of Sahar in the Governorate of North Al-Batina organised the first dentistry conference, covering many topics on the latest findings in dentistry and its various fields. The conference witnessed wide participation from doctors coming from different governorates in order to exchange expertise among specialists and dentistry consultants. Yemeni political forces who oppose Houthi militia that has seized control of Sana'a formed an alliance against it, saying they want to restore state authority and rebuild weakened security forces. The newly formed National Salvation Bloc groups entities and secular parties, as well as youth groups, tribal alliances and members of the Southern Movement, which seek greater autonomy for the formerly independent South. It also includes dissident Southern members of the General People's Congress, the party of former President Ali Abdullah Saleh, who is suspected of backing the Houthis. It aims to restore state authority and prevent the collapse of the army and security forces and rebuild them. The United States will have to negotiate with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad for a political transition in Syria and is exploring ways to pressure him into agreeing to talks, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry told CBS News in an interview. Washington has long insisted that Assad must be replaced through a negotiated political transition, but the rise of a common enemy, hardline militant groups, appears to have slightly softened the West's stance towards him. Kerry met Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry today at an investment summit in the resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. The two men talked as they posed for photographs. Kerry was to travel to Lausanne, Switzerland later today for talks with his Iranian counterpart on Tehran's disputed nuclear program. Now for the general weather forecast. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds on the northern governorates and cloud accumulation and fog over the southeastern coast. Winds will be northerly to northeasterly light to moderate along the coast of Sea of Oman, while it will be southeasterly light along the rest of the Sultanate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. 60% of the first phase of Bulletin Expressway is completed and a length of 18 kilometers will be open to traffic in June. The number of Omani female workers rises to 43% in government sector and 20% in private sector. The Ministry of Education works to adopt students' projects and innovations in order to create a generation that enjoys high creative capabilities. And awareness activities to highlight consumer rights in the governorates of Musandam and South Sharqiya are held within celebrations of Gulf Consumer Protection Week. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.